Hi, Paula. Nice to see you.
Hi, Els. Good to see you too.
So,
Um,
yes.
I was just going to say today we are talking about the non-stop talker. And I was laughing because I think, oh, am I guilty of this myself quite often? So anyway, sorry, Els, I took away from you.
No problem. No problem.
Non-stop talking.
The non-stop talker. You want to share? You want to start sharing, or shall I tell?
Sure. Yeah, no, I can start because here I am. I'm non-stop talking, Al. So, I started talking when I didn't need to. So, how do I um, stop someone who's talking too much? And, how do I lovingly intervene? I find that a challenge and I'm still getting there with that. But you do need to intervene and um, because otherwise you could lose the group. And you do see that, like I noticed that when someone's talking and um, I just see the energy in the group changing, when someone, the same person's talking all the time. So um, yeah, if you don't intervene, you're going to lose your group. So you need to take care of the group energy by gently interrupting a person who monopolizes group time. And I have a group that I'm with quite often, and I'll say to them, look, if I'm talking too much, please always intervene, even on me as the facilitator, you know. So, yeah. And if they're wanting to respond to the discussion always, if there's someone who, always wants to comment after a person's spoken, you might lovingly intervene again and say, before I get back to you, let me ask maybe someone else to respond. Well, that's what I've done in the past, and just go to the other person. So you could do it that way, but perhaps you find a way to take turns to respond. What do you do, Els, for that person who doesn't
I
stop
never
talking?
ask someone to respond
Okay, yeah, okay.
because we listen. We don't respond because in response there's always first a thought that has an idea about what somebody has said, and then there comes a response from the ideas I have on the story of another one, and that's all judgment and all ideas. Ideas, for example, they need advice or they need whatever, or the response is never a response. It's on what's happened there. It's always a response on what happens here. So
Yes.
when a story triggers me, it triggers me in me, about me, and
Mhm.
not in response. So I would always cut that loose, and
Yes.
always say, if somebody says, I want to respond to you, I say, speak to me, because it's no response on there. It's your
Okay.
story. You can tell
Yes.
me, so that it's not on the back of the other one.
Yes. Yeah.
For
Yeah.
example, that's about what you said, the non-stop talker. Yeah, we have two kinds of non-stop talkers. We have the non-stop talker who is in an emotion because, for example, yesterday my father died, and
Mm.
then or I can remember the evening from the 9/11 towers, the attack. We
Yes.
had Attitude Healing Group that evening. So in the Netherlands, it happened in the afternoon. And then we had a few hours later Attitude Healing Group. And it was so on top. So that was the topic everybody shared about what we felt about what happened there and our thoughts about it. So that is I don't know if it was a non-stop talker, but it was a non-stop topic.
Yes.
And some had very much emotions about it. So
Mm.
when somebody comes in with grief or with because something happened, yeah, well, everybody has the kindness and the love to let someone speak, even three quarters, if it's so genuine grief and genuine mourning and genuine whatever it is. But then there's a non-stop talker who just tells the story, and there are no, it doesn't There are no emotions involved. It doesn't feel genuine. So when that happens, I can see that the group is, and it starts
Yes.
on this chair and, and So and when I have that feeling, I mostly think, oh, here it is. Now I have to do something. And then I say, can you tell in one sentence what the essence is of what you want to say? In one sentence. And that
Yes.
does it bring back to the essence and it stops it.
Yes.
So, and then maybe one, two sentence comes and then it's finished and we go on.
Yes.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
I have a non-stop talker in the group all the time, I start using the timer just to stop this non-stop talking.
Yes.
And the timer helps. It's wonderful. Or the talking stick helps. And then I
Mm.
don't have to do anything. I just sit back and the timer does the work.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So you have to find the trick.
Yes.
And
Yes.
instead of saying, well, you have talked so much, and principle tennis, we can focus on the whole of life rather than the fragments. Or, for example, say we share from our experience by risking exposing on our own emotional state. We find common experience that allows for joining. I would never do that. I would next time say, let's talk about guideline 4. What does it mean for you? But
Yeah.
I would never address it to one
Yeah.
person
No.
directly. I would
Yes.
always pass by.
Yeah. 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 And pick it up the following week. Yeah. It's interesting that you say the difference between the non-stop talker in emotion and the non-stop talker in, who's just without emotion. That there is quite a difference. I hadn't really thought of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So sometimes somebody is telling very genuine, and you
Mhm.
see the emotions and the state of emotions they are going through, and the storytelling is yeah, well, uh,
Mhm.
I can't listen to a storyteller. I have to stop it because I just can't, and I can't listen to a lot, but
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
storyteller, always the same story telling, no
Yes.
emotions. I can't. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah. Yeah.
difficult for me.
Yeah. So ours with the person who's caught an emotion, and really needs to get out what they need to get out. What do you do there?
I sit and I listen.
Yeah. 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 Well, that's nice.
I don't mess with the emotion.
No,
I
no.
don't I don't jump in that emotion.
Mm, mm.
I sit and listen with an open heart and an open mind.
Yeah,
And I don't interpret the emotion.
yeah.
I don't say, oh, how horrible, or oh, whatever. I listen. I listen. I listen.
But it might be that you give that person extra time and maybe, then you can ask others to just take a little less time.
Yeah, well, somebody comes in and says in the first round where they say their name, and I mostly ask if you want to share later on something, and then mostly 4 or 5 people say I want to share something. Well, then they have their time. It's not on timer. It's just
Yeah,
you
yeah,
share. And then when we hear that her father died yesterday, or her partner died, or or whatever happened, then of course we give time. Of
yeah.
course.
Mm,
And it's kind to give time, and it's easy to give time when things like this happen. It's the easy thing, and it is very natural to give time.
yes. Yeah, yeah. That's what's needed. Oh, well, thank you, Els.
Well, thank you, Paula,
Okay.
and see you
See
next
you.
time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.